In this video, I intend to talk about Jomo Kenyatta's life, his work, and how important he still is for Kenya. Also, I'll be showing examples of his legacy and will try to answer the question if he was a good leader. Jomo Kenyatta was born as Kamau wa Nyengi in Kiambu around 1889. Kenyatta died this 22nd August 1978 in Mombasa, a normal death. From 1909, he attended the Church of Scotland mission, where he got primary elementary education and carpentry training. In 1912, he passed his test and became an apprentice carpenter. In 1914, he was baptized and first named John Peter, then John Stone, and then finally named himself Jomo Kenyatta. Kenyatta married 4 times during his life. His first woman was Grace Vahu. They married in 1920 and got 2 children. Then in England, he married Edna Clark in 1942 and they got 1 son. 1946, Kenyatta married Wanjiku back in Africa and they got 1 daughter. His last wife was Mama Nyangina. Their date is not clear, but they got 2 daughters. For easy reference, I made a lifeline of Jomo Kenyatta's work. From 1921 until 1926, Kenyatta worked the Nairobi City Council and the Water Department, to then become 1926 the Secretary of the Kikuyu Central Association, short KCA. From 1928 on, Kenyatta published a weekly newspaper called Migwitania. 1929 and 1931, the KCA sent him to London to represent African demands for territory that was taken away by Europeans. 1932, Kenyatta met Gandhi and went to Russia to study. 1933, he returned for political campaigns back to England and taught Kikuyu at the University College of London. In 1937, Kenyatta published a book on Kikuyu language and studied at the LSE Anthropology. In 1938, he published his next book titled Facing Mount Kenya. During World War II, Kenyatta worked on a farm somewhere in England. In 1945, Kenyatta was represented at the 5th Pan-African Congress at Manchester. 1946, 17 years after he left Kenya, Kenyatta returned and in 1947 took over the leadership of the Kenya African Union, short KAU. 7 years later, 1952, he and 6 other leading men were arrested, in 1953 tried for managing Mau Mau. Until 1959, he had to stay at Lodwar and then moved to Maralat until 1961, when he finally was allowed to go back home. By August 1961, he was free from all sentences. On October 28th, he was already selected as the KANU president. Right after that, he went in November 1961 again back to London for the Lancaster House Conference. On the 1st June of 1963, Kenyatta was selected first Prime Minister of Kenya. But he also tried everything for Free Kenya, which was established the 12th December 1964. Kenyatta got voted for the first president and kept this position until his death in 1978. A big achievement was 1974, the free education up to 4th grade of elementary school. Kenyatta is still very popular in Kenya. He is often called Father of the Nation. Today we can still see the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport and his statue in downtown Nairobi. He was also on the money, but this is changing right now due to new policies. There is the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology and the Kenyatta University. Looking back at his history, we see that even though Kenyatta is dead since 32 years, he still is a hero for his country. He achieved during his life a lot for Kenya and created a better relationship with the whites. Because he was also always revoted and rechosen as the president and as representative, I would say that he was a good leader for his country.